It doesn't matter what the press says. It doesn't matter what the politician or the mob say. It doesn't matter if the whole country decides something wrong is something right. This nation was founded on one principle above all else: the requirement that we stand up for what we believe no matter the odds or the consequences. When the mob, the press, and the whole world tell you to move, it's your job to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this Bible study all about the rapture. Okay, what do I mean when I'm saying rapture? Rapture comes from the Greek word harpazo. It sounds like one of the Marx brothers. Its meaning is to be caught up, to be snatched up, grabbed hastily, to be overcame, to overcome, or to plunder. It is used 5 times in the New Testament, and for most people, when they talk about the rapture, they go, and the use of it is in 1 Thessalonians 4:17. Then when we who are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and thus we shall always be with the Lord. Side note, the them that we meet in the air to meet the Lord with, the risen dead. Just so we know what we're talking about. This is talking about supernatural stuff. So if you don't believe in the supernatural, don't think that there's any validation to it, you're probably not going to be interested in this video very much further. So with that, I do wish you farewell. Don't want to waste any more of your time, but if you are paying attention to this, we are going to talk about the mark of the beast in this one. I sort of want to empty my cup and go back to the Bible and actually read what the Bible says, because you can watch all kind of stuff on YouTube. You can find websites, articles, everything else. People will tell you what the mark of the beast is, how it's going to be implemented, when it's going to be implemented, all this kind of stuff. I don't know any of that stuff. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a wise man. I'm just simply a guy who doesn't want to be deceived, and I'm trying to do my due diligence. I am showing y'all my information, what I'm coming across. Remember, I'm not a preacher. I'm not trying to guide you. All I'm doing is trying to start the conversation to where it makes you think, because we're getting really close to a old school, Old Testament biblical moment, and I want to show you why I think that. So let's go, when we're going to talk about the mark of the beast, let's go to Revelations 13. Make sure you go and follow everything that I'm telling you in the Bible. Read for yourself and go get references to what I'm talking about so you can make an informed decision on your own. Okay? Love you. Remember, subscribe at the Mustard Seed Adventures, hit like, all that kind of stuff. That's how I know if y'all are going to like this or y'all have seen any of the information helps any of you guys. So over here in Revelations 13, then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads, 10 horns, and his horns had 10 crowns, and on his heads a blasphemous name. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard. His feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. Okay, let's get right down to it. The beast. We are going to go to Daniel. Go to Daniel. Read Daniel. That way you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Reason I say that, because in Daniel, the beast represents a government system, a control grid, a religious system. Okay? You have to understand the beast is what's controlling mankind as far as these groups. Okay? So with that being said, you see that it's like a leopard. Now, when you go back to Daniel, most people will agree that the leopard in Daniel is talking about Alexander the Great's Grecian Empire. Okay? Alexander the Great conquered almost the whole known world by the time he was 32. He went through and conquered pretty much everything he set his sight on. Do some research on Alexander the Great, find out for yourself. So we're going to find that it's going to be like that. It's going to go like that. It's going to resemble that. Then, like the feet of a bear, that's the Meso-Persia Empire, okay? With that being said, these people were very cruel. History records them as cruel people. They were bloodthirsty, they plundered, they robbed, everything else. So this beast or system is going to take over really quick. It's going to be plundering and everything else. And the mouth of a lion, well, that's Babylon. It's going to speak as Babylon. You need to go do some research in Daniel to get an idea of really what Babylon is. And Babylon shows up a lot more in Revelation, so you need to become familiar with Babylon, okay? Now, we're going to start back up. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and his great authority. Look, if you don't believe in the devil and don't think he exists, you should stop right here, because you're not going to follow any more of this, because the mark of the beast, well, okay, we're going to follow on. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed. Did you catch that? As if it had been mortally wounded. Go back to 2 Thessalonians. Remember, we were talking in 1 Thessalonians the first time when we talked about the rapture. Now we go to 2 Thessalonians, and he's talking about the end times when this stuff is supposed to be happening. And for this reason, God will send them a strong delusion that they should believe the lie. Remember, the dragon is the devil, the father of lies, the great manipulator, the accuser. Okay, so it makes sense that all this starts up with a lie. Just pointing that out. You can think what you want to. Maybe he does really almost die and they resurrect him. I don't know. I'm just telling you. Just watch. And all the world marveled and followed the beast. So they worshiped the dragon. Wait a minute. So the beast, the government system, got its power from the dragon. Now that system is making people worship the dragon, the devil. Okay. So they worship the dragon who gave authority to the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, "Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war against him?" And he was giving a mouth, speaking great things, blasphemies, and he was given authority to continue for 42 months. We know there's a timeline. I don't want to get into trying to add how long it's going to be, all that kind of stuff. That to me is, you're getting down to really fine details on that, and I just want to know how to stay out of the crosshairs if you want to know the truth, because I'm a nobody. I'm just trying to tell everybody about Jesus. That whole song say, okay. Then he opens his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme in his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. So we've had people who were alive and remain called up to the clouds with those who have risen in the dead to be with Jesus. Okay, now it says blasphemy against those in heaven. I wanted to point out another verse for you guys, and if y'all will bear with me just for a second. I think it's over. Y'all can follow with me. It's over, because I just want to do this in one shot if y'all don't mind. I think it's in Luke, see, 17, I think, when he's talking about the rich man and Lazarus. Yes, it's going to be in 16:19. I want you to go read the parable so you can get what I'm talking about. But then he said, he goes down to Luke 16:26. And besides all this, between us and you there is a great gulf fixed, that so that those who want to pass from here to you cannot, nor can those from there pass to us. So people are going to be able to know, people are in heaven, they're going to know this. The rapture happens, then the beast comes up and starts talking junk about the people who were. Just y'all think about this, y'all decide. I'm not trying to give false doctrine. I'm asking questions and I'm pointing out what it says in the Bible. So don't hand me that crap. Okay, so with this being said, let's go back to Revelations 13. We're going to get back to where he was talking crap about the people in heaven, and it was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. The Christians that are still here during that time. So understand, if you really read what's being said in the Bible and stuff like that, you realize that not a lot of people are going to go in the rapture. Now, a lot of people will get mad at me for saying that. It's going to be, there's 8 billion people on the planet. Maybe a billion if we lucky go. You get what I'm saying? Because not everybody is going to follow Jesus. Even people in churches, a lot of them don't follow Jesus. I'm not judging, I'm observing. You, by your fruits, you will know them. That's what Jesus said. That's what I'm saying to y'all. Okay? Now, and all who dwell on the earth. See, notice now they're saying people who dwell on the earth. They have people who are dwelling in heaven, and now there are people dwelling in earth. So, just all those who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose name have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Okay. If anyone has an ear, let him hear. He who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give y'all one really, really interesting thing. When it says this is the patience and the faith of the saints, you have to really go back and think about the Exodus story. When the Israelites were leaving Israel bondage, okay? Right as Pharaoh is catching up to them, right between you got the Red Sea and Pharaoh's army coming, and these people are getting nervous, and, you know, I think they even told Moses, why'd you bring us out here to die where there are not enough graves in Egypt? So he goes on to tell them, and Moses said to the people, do not be afraid, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will accomplish for you today. For the Egyptians who you see today, you shall see again no more forever. The Lord will fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. Does that sound like something that should be relevant? Just pointing that out. Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth. He had 2 horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. So you can decide what you want to think about this particular control system. The other one come out of the sea, which if you go back and you read and you pay attention, the sea is the multitudes of people. So this thing comes out of a multitude of people. The first one, the second one is sort of sparsely thing. This system, it mimics the Lamb, so it's probably a Christian nation or government, this, that, and the other, but it speaks like a dragon. And it exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence. That's another one of those things that makes me go, huh? So the first beast has to be in his presence in order for him to have power. Just pointing that out. And causes, he doesn't force, he causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast who the deadly wound was healed. See how you're starting to repeat that, but it's starting to sound more like it's a definite thing than it was just a lie to begin with. Whose deadly wound was healed. He performed great signs so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Didn't say burn anything up. If you're thinking fire, you're going to think burning something up, killing somebody. None of that happens. He just comes down in the sight of men. Very next verse. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast. The other beast has to be there, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image, to the beast who was wounded by the sword and lived. That's 3 times. Now it's almost become a reality. It's going to become the truth. If y'all been paying attention, I've been raising all kinds of noise about if you tell a lie often enough, big enough, and repeat it enough, it eventually becomes the truth. Okay. He was granted power to breathe into the image of the beast, that image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. Right there. He breathes life into the image of the beast. So not only does it speak, it kills those who don't worship. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand and on their forehead, and that no one shall buy or sell except the one who has the mark or name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who is understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of man. His number is 666. That's where everybody gets the 666 thing from. I wanted to go over and point out something to you guys. Now, I would really, really like for y'all to bear with me. First, we're going to go to Exodus, back to Exodus 13. I really want y'all to get this. When the Lord had already told people to stand still and he would fight for them. He's already done that. Now, over here in 13:16, he says over here, therefore sacrifice to the Lord all males that open the womb, but all the firstborn sons I redeem. It shall be as a sign between your hand and the frontlet of your eyes, for the strength of the hand of the Lord brought us out of Egypt. So they seen them come out of Egypt. Now they're going to start a tradition and a practice. So it will be so much, because it says, so it shall be when your sons ask you in a time to come, saying, what is this? You shall say to him, by the strength of the hand of the Lord brought us out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. And when it came to pass, when Pharaoh was stubborn about letting us go, the Lord killed all firstborns in the land of Egypt, both firstborn male and firstborn of beast. So the last plague that killed all the firstborn and all the firstborn kids and animals struck the Egyptians, but it did not strike the Israelites. Interesting thing. Okay, then we're going to go over here to Deuteronomy. Go to Deuteronomy 6:8. Okay, when you get to 6:8, I want you to understand, in Deuteronomy 5 is the 10 Commandments. Yeah. He goes up in Deuteronomy 6. Now these are the commandments and these are the statutes and judgments which the Lord your God has commanded you to teach, that you may observe them in the land which you are crossing over to possess, that you may fear the Lord your God, keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command you, you and your son and your grandsons all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. Therefore hear, O Israel, and be careful to observe it, that it may be well with you, and that you may multiply greatly, as the Lord of your fathers has promised, in the land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, the Lord God, the Lord is the one. You shall love your Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your strength. These words which I command you today shall be in your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and it shall talk of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be at the frontlet between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorpost of your house and your gates. Okay, and then one more time he talks about this. Deuteronomy 11:18. Therefore you shall lay up these words of mine in your heart and in your soul, and bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not only going to mimic what this control system says, you're going to believe it in your heart. The mark of the beast is not just a barcode, a vaccine, a microchip. You're going to buy into it full force with your whole heart, mind, and soul. My question is, which side are you buying in on? That's your choice. That's what you have to decide. Jesus said, I am the truth, I'm the way, and I'm the light. He said he's leaving you with peace, not as the world gives you. He's giving us, wait a minute, let's just go to here. I can't remember. I just want to go to John, so bear with me. I know y'all are watching me going, well, you should have been prepared. Yes, I should have been prepared, but I'm not. But I know exactly where this is, because in John, you understand, he goes, do you now believe? Indeed, the hour is coming, yes, has now come, that you will be scattered, each to his own, and I will leave you alone. And yet I am not leaving you alone, because the Father is with me. These things I have spoke to you, that you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. Okay, that's not the part that I wanted to tell you, but this is right here. Okay, y'all just talks amongst yourselves right now, and I am going. Oh, here it goes. It's John 14:27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives to you, do I give you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. You have heard me say to you, I am going away and coming back to you. If you love me, you would rejoice, because I said, I am going to the Father, and the Father is greater than I. And now I have told you before it comes, that when it comes to pass, you will believe me. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a bunch of it wrapped up. That's a lot of information for you guys. I told y'all I was doing a Bible study. I'm giving y'all information. If you think what I'm doing is valid, give me a like, share this around, subscribe to the Mustard Seed Adventures, hit that little bell. Go check us out at rantsfromtheloonybin.com, and if you feel so inclined to help us with our mission of trying to spread this around and actually give you information without trying to lead you and just presenting you the information, please by all means hit that donate button up top. Other than that, guys, I love y'all. I pray y'all find wisdom. I pray God gives you wisdom. Go read James. Pray for wisdom that God gives above all, because we are going to need a lot of wisdom very soon. I love you guys.